Friends, our theme today on the third Sunday of Advent is joy, joy in a fragile world. Advent is a season of waiting and anticipation. In this fragile world where uncertainty and fear often cloud our vision, the Advent theme of joy invites us to pause and to contemplate a deeper truth. In Luke chapter 1, 57 to 80, after the story of the Annunciation, where Gabriel comes to Mary, and then her visit to Elizabeth, we read the story of the birth of John the Baptist and of Zechariah's prophetic song. Again, the narrative is more than a single moment in time. It's really an archetypal story, a universal metaphor for how the divine speaks into the fragile human places of our lives, bringing joy into the world. The narrative begins with Elizabeth's miraculous pregnancy in her old age, reaching its culmination as she gives birth to her son, John, later to be called John the Baptist. Her neighbors and relatives rejoice with her, not just because a child is born, but because they perceive in this event the hand of something greater. Every birth, every new beginning reminds us of the sacredness of life, even in a world that often feels broken. And I shared a quote a few weeks ago in church that says that every child that is born is a reminder that God has not given up on humanity. But sometimes there is born into the world um, those who will profoundly shape and change the world as they grow up, those who will make a huge impact on the world for the better. And the birth of John the Baptist in Luke's narrative is one such moment. Zechariah's story echoes and amplifies this joy of Elizabeth and her neighbors. His silence, imposed earlier in the narrative because of his disbelief, ends when he names his son John in obedience to the angel's message. And in that moment, his tongue is freed and he bursts into song. Words that are often called the Benedictus, and in some traditions, it's included and recited every morning in morning prayer. Zechariah's song is a hymn of liberation, a proclamation of joy rooted in the fulfillment of ancient promises. And he sees his son not just as a child, but as one who will prepare the way for transformation, for a world redeemed by love and light. This is a joy that transcends his own personal happiness. It is the joy of hope breaking through a collective despair. As Zechariah finds his voice again, he sings of healing, of wholeness, forgiveness, peace, all breaking through into this fragile world. And his words remind us that joy is not an escape from the world's fragility, but a courageous and a defiant embrace of its potential to be renewed and transformed. This Advent, it feels like our world today is more fragile than ever. And yet Advent reminds us to seek joy, not as an avoidance of these realities, but as a response to them. Joy, like the light of the Advent candles, begins small and tentative, but grows as we nurture it. It is found in the small, courageous acts of love and kindness, in the willingness to believe in a better world, even when the evidence is hard to find. Zechariah's song, his prophetic song, closes with a promise. The dawn from on high will break upon us, guiding our feet into the way of peace. On this third Sunday of Advent, may we light the candle of joy in our hearts, so that in the midst of a fragile world, joy may rise like the dawn, the joy of Christ within us, guiding our feet into the way of God's peace. Amen. God bless.